Hey, evening everybody. I feel so cozy tonight. It is a damn cold one. It's not snowing yet, but to hell with it. I appreciate God helping me out, not sending any snow until I finally bring the snowblower out, which of course, as I've described in years past, my snowblower's presence in my garage is actually snow repellent. It never snows when I have the snowblower ready to go. I've actually protected this local area for years now from very, very bad winters. So there's that. Thank you guys and gals. It's great to have you here. Great to have you here in New York on a 7 p.m. date. It's a date here on a Friday. And I like that we have a wonderful guest in the studio. He has come many miles. I have traveled 500 miles to bring you my seed. It's John Carroll. How the hell you doing, man?
Hey, Frank. Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th. I'm always so confused about whether to be cheery or spooky on a Friday the 13th that shows up in the middle of December. But you know what? I guess tonight is going to be just a little bit of both because there's a lot of spooky things happening out there. And whatever, I don't know whatever else to say.
Spooky things happening right above us.
Right above us. In New York, in New Jersey, but now it's national.
I'll tell you this. If they actually, if this is real, if it's going down, and they're going to start it in New Jersey, I hope they're hostile.
You know what?
No one deserves it more.
You know what? The hostile alien thing, I'm waiting for somebody to actually shoot at it. Now, I've heard, I was talking about that with Tracy this morning, and many people have, because I tweeted it last night, and I said something along the lines of drones all over the damn place, because that was shortly after I heard what was being cited at LaGuardia. Like, there was all over the airports. We're talking critical infrastructure down in what is the artillery?
Yeah, I mean,
down in New Jersey. I mean, we're talking military.
There's a lot of sensitive sites in New Jersey, and sensitive corporate sites too, not just military.
Yeah, so that's why I don't understand.
Someone understands,
and that's the main thrust of the whole thing. They know. We're gonna listen to John Kirby today. This idiot. I can't stand this guy, but it's one of the last things he's gonna be able to lie about, and but it just doesn't make any sense. And I wonder when somebody's going to take a shot at it and what it would take to bring one of those things down. Because if you're talking about something the size of an SUV or a compact car or something like that, which is obviously running technology that many people are not used to because they're in the air for so long, they don't know where they come. Well, they don't know where they take off from. They don't know where they land, and they're actually able to stay in the air for well beyond what normal consumer grade drone technology is. They know exactly what the hell's going on, but I just wonder what a 30 caliber or if they're low enough for a big slug from a shotgun or something, it would actually even take them down.
I don't know. My guess would be no.
You were an artilleryman, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so what if you were going to take these things down? What would you do?
Well, artillery is for people,
right? Yeah. Well, just
air defense artillery those are the like the Patriot missile systems. That's probably what you would need, but they're so high up in the air. Generally speaking, they're a lot harder to shoot than you would think. Even back before we had missiles, all the anti-air stuff was, remember the big flak guns?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. These aren't just the little pizza boxes, or like, you remember that funny video when these drones first started coming out of that like fat redneck couple throwing beer cans at this thing?
Yeah. It almost reminded me of like John the Savage from Brave New World at the end.
Yeah.
The imagery I had in my head when he's at the lighthouse.
Well, if you're going to shoot these things, I wonder, where's the targeting pod? Because that's what you should be looking at. Where's the camera underneath? Because if you blind the thing, maybe that's the only thing you could do. I don't know. But I still haven't seen like a close-up of any of these things. If someone can like film through a telescope or something, and they're not so far. We haven't seen like the zigzags or the 90-degree turn stunts.
Now,
but it's hard to shoot those.
Here's the thing, and I know that this was during war. I know that this was during wartime, but the Battle of Los Angeles. Okay.
Yes, 1942?
1942. Also known as the Great Los Angeles Air Raid, is the name given by contemporary sources to rumored attack on the continental United States by Imperial Japan and subsequent anti-aircraft artillery barrage, which took place from late 24th of February to the 25th. The incident occurred less than 3 months after the U.S. entered the war, and what they unleashed was crazy. And 5 civilians died during that.
I did not know that.
3 died in car accidents, and 2 died of heart attack because they unleashed incredible amounts of firepower, and it was all to take down things that they saw on the air that just didn't sit right. And of course, we were poised for war, and we unleashed hell. Now these things are floating around military installations and international airports, and they have the nerve to say, well, we don't know what they are right now, but they're not. They have not shown us any indication of being dangerous, even though it's harassment in the very least.
Yeah. And
there's some people have reported weird psychic links to them, of course.
There's a lot of, we're going to get into it because it's going to be a main topic.
Yeah.
It's very strange. That also, even the Battle of Los Angeles, the 1942, that's before any of the other like big UFO narratives around World War II. And that's also maybe just because it's not politically correct, but that is, Operation High Jump and everything thereafter and everything before that even. That's one of the most compelling theories about what these are,
Yeah. I know.
What if the Nazis are back?
What if the Nazis never left?
Candace Owens will tell us all about it.
I know. We got Candace Owens coming up next. I don't, it's, this is going to be so incredible. Yeah, I see somebody in the chat room, one of the chats just said, call Linda Moulton Howe. I would love to have gotten a report from Linda Moulton Howe. That'd be fantastic.
It would be.
But listen, there's a lot to do on that tonight, and we're going to open up a hotline for you guys, and I want to take a lot of your calls. What else do I have here? Well, a couple of things. Oh, tonight I'm going to be giving away this round of silver, and you're also going to get a wooden nickel with it too. Next week, along with many other things I'm going to be giving away, we're going to be giving away the Florida Goldbacks. They just started getting minted. I have a 1/1000th of a troy ounce Goldback from Florida, newly minted. Going to be giving that away to you guys next week. Just call in.
Those Florida Goldbacks are by far the most scandalous. They usually have female figures on them, but
I know
that one's a little risque.
I know. She gets me hot. Maybe just because she's gold.
You don't want to spend that one.
I don't want to spend that one. Put it up on your screen. All right. What else is there? See Megyn Kelly in the... Yeah, somebody's mentioned Megyn Kelly. I was online at the P.O. box today. Apparently she has a P.O. box where the Quite Frankly P.O. box is, because someone had sent her a floral arrangement, and my friend had to go give her a call to tell her that she had flowers waiting for her.
It was me. I'm her secret admirer.
Oh, see, it's all connecting here. Anywho, thank you guys and gals for being here tonight. Become a sponsor and also shop for Christmas stuff with the affiliates on quitefrankly.tv. Also, I want to just give a tip of the cap to John Carroll over here.
Oh, thank you.
For many of you, the OGs know John as Mike from Maryland, but John is the chief engineer and curator of a lot of after-hours programming. I throw him some stuff for Sundays and some other things like, the Star of Bethlehem documentary, but After Hours is back, and it's because of John. So everybody say thank you so much, because 9 o'clock now, at 9 o'clock, the show doesn't end, which is great, because I always see After Hours as an extension of the show. So there's that.
We're growing, and big things coming in 2025.
Indeed. Because portals are opening up right now.
Did you... I can ask you during the break.
What?
there was a story I saw in the New York Post, and I was like, there's no way he missed this. That the way that they framed it, Pope Francis was going to perform a ritual to open 5 portals in the Vatican on Christmas Eve.
What do you mean 5 portals?
That's exactly what the headline said. And so I was like, what? So I Googled it. I was like, what's this ritual? I wanted to see if we could perform it in here. It's opening doors. And so I don't know if it's like symbolic.
Who's the publisher again?
New York Post and a whole bunch of other people.
You got to find this.
It's something that they do. It's a ritual that's done every 25 years. Pope John Paul II talked about it. The more I read about it, the more benign it seemed, which is why I thought it was going to be something like really freaky, but
like the enthronement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll whenever you come across that, send it to me. I like to read it.
I'm going to look it up during the intro.
I do, this is news. I have to confirm it first. It's sad news having to do with, I have to confirm it first. It came to me so suddenly. We'll talk about this a little bit afterwards. See what happens. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to just kick this one off because there's no need, no use. The whole show is just going to be a revolving door of topics and your calls. So let's just get it started. We got John Carroll's in the studio. You guys at home, and the phone lines are going to be hot. Also, somebody is going to win some silver. Who knows? Who should we be? What should be the magic number tonight? Which call?
13.
13?
That could be for one of them. You're giving away a lot of stuff, but it's Friday the 13th, so maybe...
Oh, the 13th caller is going to be like 5 minutes in.
Okay, well...
Less than 5 minutes in. Like that's why I've been doing 47 lately.
31?
31?
I asked for a 13, but she drew a 31.
33.
Oh, ooh. That might be bad luck.
I don't... Oh, well, anyway, maybe I'll just spring it on somebody. Who knows? Call in, and if I like your call... I don't know.
And maybe if you suck, you're getting nothing.
Yeah. Or I'll just give you a number in a couple of minutes. All right, guys and gals, please share the show far and wide. We're going to have ourselves a good time here on this Friday evening with you in tow, and let's do it.
Here, come on, single file over here. Come on, next one in line.
It would kill him to say ho, ho, ho.
You were just here.
I was not.
Yeah, you were. You were on my lap 5 minutes ago.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were. Now you're going on Santa's list and you're getting nothing.
Fuck you, Santa!
Hey!
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's
Okay, so welcome back. Let's just start getting right into some things here. Did you hear about, I have this Thomas Massey. He was talking a little bit, maybe talking out of turn, but here he is believing that the U.S. government orchestrated, or at the very least facilitated, regime change in Syria. The timing is definitely not a mistake. Massey pointed out how dozens of jets and helicopters were conveniently bombed by Israel the same week that regime change occurred in Syria. Oh yeah, not only jets and helicopters, they wiped out whatever kind of navy they had too. All under the auspices of having to secure a buffer zone for Israel. I think this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous that this is going on right now.
Yeah, and during the same time frame, the U.S. hit ISIS targets.
But here's my question. If there has been such a concerted effort to get Assad out for all these years, and he's been able to resist this, and he's had help from Russia to resist the ISIS, FSA, United States proxies and all that other stuff, all this time They put up a good fight and stalemated and stuck it out, even throughout all the purported gas attack stuff and the pressure from the international community. It's been pretty quiet in the news and everything else, geopolitically, at least for us as observers lately. And now right here in the 11th hour, when Trump's only 5 weeks away from being inaugurated, he after all those years of trying, Assad has to go into exile into Moscow.
Apparently. But so Russia still had a military presence there for a long time, and they still do because of that port, and they've had their own military bases there for a while. And so maybe that's why, maybe there is an alignment going on. And there probably was some kind of backroom deal because Assad got out. He didn't get the Saddam treatment. He didn't get the Gaddafi treatment. He just gets to go away, which I'm happy about because I like Assad. I like his wife too.
I just don't know. I don't know what the hell. It seems very weird. Obviously, this is not what it seems, but at the same time, if it is the United States, what were they doing the last 15 years or more? Were they just going easy? They're going easy on, like, what was it?
I guess this is the time. I don't know what's going to happen with what's going to be the same response to Taiwan when it's eventually given to China.
I don't know.
It's going to happen. That's got to be one of those things that's on the table.
I guess stalemate military operations is actually a major. It's always been a major point of. It's their business.
Well, I guess we'll see too if over the next few years, new pipeline gets built. I mean, that was the whole. He
says basically what these terrorists couldn't do, other people in the Middle East hurried up and did here in the last week to make sure that Assad didn't have the typical resources that a government would have to respond to these threats. It's clear as day to me that the U.S. was involved, Massey concluded, and whether it was led by the United States or whether we just encouraged it, the timing definitely not a mistake. When you find a turtle on a fence post, it didn't get there by accident. And here's the last quote from him. Remember, Tulsi Gabbard was in Congress, and she said, and she and I collaborated on a lot of these efforts to stop the U.S. meddling in Syria, and now she's been named as the head of DNI. Well, I think that was the signal to the deep state to go in for the kill and get this over with, because Trump and some of his nominees are not going to carry on the policies of Obama and the deep state, Massey said. Then again, that means that this was a designed stalemate like everything else that we've been in.
Probably. And, another thing about Assad getting away too, just another theory there, is maybe he was one move away from being checkmated and got out. I mean, who saw the attack coming before they went into Lebanon, where everyone in their high command, their pagers just blew up? Mm-hmm. I mean, as soon as we saw that, it was like, oh, they're going in. And now the, who was it over there? Hezbollah has no command and control. They cut the head off the snake and then went in there. And so maybe it was the same thing in Syria, where something was going to happen that was going to cripple them. And rather than, try to fight a losing battle, he just got out of Dodge. Because remember, too, his plane also went missing, or allegedly went off radar, or something happened there. And that's the kind of thing you would do if you're trying to escape.
Well, he's safe in Moscow now.
I know. He and Edward Snowden could go hang out.
What's your opinion on Edward Snowden? Because Julian Assange was one thing for me, but Edward Snowden, I have heard people on all sides of that he's not as noble as he presents himself to be, and that there is not. I never really looked into his full story.
I did. When I watched the movie Snowden, that raised some really big flags for me. Just looking back, because that happened in 2010, I think 2012 maybe. And I remember thinking when he goes to Hong Kong, and they make it all dramatic where he's in the hotel room and he takes the reporters' cell phones, puts them in the microwave, but he's talking to reporters. One was Glenn Greenwald, I think, and another was someone from The Guardian, but they were from the New York branch. And you just think now, if you had something like that to leak, you're not going to the mainstream media. But he did. And then So like that was kind of like one of my first clues. But then the other one, when he was in Hong Kong, the U.S. government was trying, or at least making it look like they were trying to extradite him, and they could have got him at some point. They could have locked down Hong Kong and not let him leave. And Snowden was asking for asylum, I believe in South America. And they said, no, you can leave. We're going to let you go away, but you have to go to Russia. Why Russia? And then maybe it was even 2014, because it was very soon after that the whole Russia gate, yada, yada, whatever. I don't know. And then Trump came out and said that Snowden should be executed.
I saw that.
So I don't know, but also at the same time, when you look at all the facts of how it went down, there's nothing to say that Snowden wasn't just a patriot. And he tried to do something, and it ended up being used against him and not making a big deal. But here is, for me, the number one red flag about that entire story, and I remember it so well because it was the main national news story everywhere. I remember Wolf Blitzer talking about this, like, very concerning reports that there's mass surveillance with this PRISM program, and nothing's changed since then, by the way. They're still doing that. And I don't know, maybe it was just a revelation of the method kind of thing, but whenever you see the entire mainstream media pushing a narrative in lockstep, today we would look at that and say, oh, it's bullshit. I don't think what happened with Snowden today, or back then, I don't think it could happen today and have everyone believe it like that.
It could also just be because it was just a moment in time, in that it just has to, like, you take anything, it doesn't even have to be about national security or espionage or whatever the hell else.
Yeah.
If you take it out of its particular moment in time and misplace it somewhere else, you wouldn't be able to do it either. So maybe it's just,
compare him to Seth Rich.
Right. Yeah.
And Seth Rich was taken out, and Snowden was allowed to leave. I don't know why.
There's a lot, and that's why I always ask, because I've never really formed my own opinion on it, and I guess that any kind of disclosure is a good disclosure, but at the same time, this is
and it was a disclosure that was, we might not have gotten the full story, but we got enough where it was very, very damning. But then again, nothing happened. No one got punished for it. I think Michael Hayden was the head of the NSA back then, wasn't he?
I think so.
And then he went to go be the head of the CIA. So no, it's.
Speaking of stories that we don't know where somebody falls and what the hell's going on. What is your knee jerk? Well, I would say, what does your gut tell you about the United Healthcare assassination? Because just today, out of all the deep dives has been done, all of the the psychological profiles that have been built up and the memes and all that stuff, there's just still some things that just don't sit right about the execution of the whole thing. Now we have this. The police say that the Luigi Mangione wasn't even a client of United Healthcare. His mother came out say the same thing too. So what the hell?
Poor Luigi. I don't know.
I know.
I don't trust. Okay, like what I just said though. There's this overwhelming narrative about this guy. This is who he was. And interestingly, there's not really a whole lot of pushback, I think, because the whole thing's so confusing. But it does seem very strange that he was arrested with his weapon, with a manifesto, and it's just that's not how these things go down. First of all, if you have a manifesto, don't you publish it somewhere? You don't keep it in your backpack. And
Well, I guess people would keep it on their person
if they think they're going to die.
If they think they're going to die in the meantime, and there's no, that's the best way of getting that out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, how did he disappear like that? There's a camera, multiple cameras on every street corner in Manhattan.
It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It's not even that. It's even the more practical questions that not a lot of people have asked, but that is, I love to know exactly what did he study this guy's behaviors? Is he always in front of this hotel every time? Like, where did he even get the location? Where did he know? How long was he stalking him? How did he know that the interception was going to be made in front of this hotel? I guess if he's speaking at a certain place at a certain time, you can make general guesses about itinerary, but I don't know what else to say.
It's something's wrong with it.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong. I like the memes though, some of it. By the way, I saw somebody ask if this lava lamp is fake. No. And I have this thing on a timer to go on at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, during the summertime, this thing only needs about 2.5 hours to get going. During the wintertime, I can't. What am I supposed to do? Keep this on for 24 hours? Just so it'll be moving around by intermission, I think. But it's ridiculous. The old lava lamps, you get third-degree burns when you touch them after an hour because they actually had some bulbs in there that were worth a shit. But these new lava lamps, they're soft. They're soft. What can I do?
I think they look great.
Oh, I think they look great too. But
the moon is finally behaving itself, and
yes, Cosmo's moon. Here's my favorite. It's not a meme per se, but it was lifted from, I guess, 4chan. There he is scowling. Luigi right in the middle of it all. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent McDonald's meal?
Get your hands off my penis.
That's why I do that to Aurora all day long, because all Aurora and I do is wrestle and fight and all that stuff. And I'll drop that line all the time, not the penis line.
Obviously.
I'll say, get your hands off me. I love when he says, get your hands off me. And it breaks up. And I was telling this to Lauren last night. I said, and obviously, these are things that we're laughing about that have to do with the murder of a father of two, regardless of what he does for his day job.
Yeah.
And that's, that sucks for somebody. But it's still, in this situation, it is incredibly important of what mockery does just to be able to free somebody's mind up. The memes, the memetics of the thing.
Yeah.
To free somebody's mind up to consider alternative viewpoints on a very high profile and attractive story that almost always is being run out there to manipulate people's perspective on things.
Yeah. And I don't know where this aspect came from too, but the drug use that allegedly he did ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And just having chronic back pain in general, he was probably on some meds, fine. But it's just one of those, adding in that detail makes it kind of hard to deny that, okay, this guy was, there was some form of psychosis probably going on there. I mean, that's why you would ever feel comfortable enough doing something like that. But as he was being arrested, when he was taken from the cop car into the jail, he shouted something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are thinking it's like he was saying, like, it's not what it looks like, I'm being framed, or...
It's insulting the intelligence of the American people and something about their lived experience.
Yeah.
So
what I'm inferring what that means is, like, this is a job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, though. I don't know.
Oh, well, let's see if a Jack Rubenstein shows up sometime soon and removes him from the situation. Hey, speaking of healthcare, did you hear this? The BBC reports assisted dying, euthanasia, now accounts for 1 in 20 deaths in Canada.
Holy shit.
What the hell? I mean, I guess it was always going to be this bad, but medically assisted dying, also known as voluntary euthanasia, suicide, accounted for 4.7% of the deaths in Canada in 2023, and new government data shows. The country's 5th annual report since euthanasia was legalized in 2016 shows that around 15,300 people underwent assisted dying last year after being successful in their applications. Have you seen any of the videos of these people that are like at the head of these euthanasia programs that assess a person's situation, and they just strictly deal in death?
I imagine they're probably like how same phenotype as like public school teachers.
It's like fucking Skeksis. It's like you think about the strangest Jim Henson Muppet you can think of.
I wonder if they've come up with a new backup plan if the pods don't work. Ever since the one malfunction and they had to strangle a woman.
Was that confirmed? Was that confirmed?
You said it, so I assumed it was true.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the second, because there's 2 rounds of updates on that there was an investigation that was opened into it, but every step of the way, whenever they quoted the people from Sarco, who makes the suicide pods, every step of the way, they insisted that the person who came from the U.S. to be killed in the woods, they had a condition that actually would leave abrasions that look like strangulation marks, which I don't.
Those things, those need to go. Those can go into the woke museum with Black Wheelchair Santa of a time that was
Black Wheelchair Santa. We got he's going to a lucky man or a lucky woman next week. It's we're the lead up to Christmas week. I needed something.
Here's that story. Speaking of Christmas, from the New York Post, Pope Francis to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve.
Now, what does sacred portal mean?
Well, so door, I think. This
physical doors, though.
Yes, because the second part of this article. So open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve for a ritual that's never been done before. It's very clickbaity because, first sentence here, Pope Francis will commence a centuries-long Catholic tradition on Christmas Eve and introduce a first-time historical addition to the holy ritual, which is not a ritual that's never been done before. But it goes on to say, starting on December 24th, the pontiff will open a series of 5 holy doors throughout the Vatican, including St. Peter's Basilica, plus Rome's 3 other basilicas to commence next year's Catholic Church Jubilee, a joyful commemoration of the faith that normally occurs every 25 years. I dropped it into your Telegram if you want to put these pictures up here.
All right. I'll take a look at it.
But all it is, so after that Christmas Eve ritual, Pope Francis will open a symbolic door inside the Roman prison Rebibbia.
You ever been to Italy? Ever been to Rome?
I have not. I've been to Europe, never been to Italy.
I'd like to do that one day. I hope I can. I really do.
Got to go back to your homeland.
I know.
Gotta take a pilgrimage.
I know.
I mean, Rome, though, that's something you could be in Rome for a whole year. You wouldn't see it all.
I would like to get one of those. It would have to be a private tour from somebody. Like when Timothy Alberino went to Rome and he got a private tour from Leo Zagami.
Yeah.
Like, geez. Like he's going, apparently he went into some chapels where he knew that some inverted rituals were going on, like those kind of windswept house enthronement ceremony type of things, like all the things that have been
not from a Jedi.
Not from a Jedi. Can you learn this power? Hey, speaking of healthcare and everything else, what do you know anything about what's going on with Nancy Pelosi? I heard that she broke her hip.
She broke her hip in the Battle of the Bulge.
It might have been it.
No, I guess that's what it was for. Actually, my great grandpa was shot in the Battle of the Bulge.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if he knew our late great friend that we got to interview years ago, Joseph Civitano. He was
what unit was he in?
Oh, he's in the Thunderbolts. He was in Patton's Thunderbolts. So I think he was an artilleryman. I don't know, but I have to go back and watch that video. I think that was from 2016 or 17 or 18.
I remember when he was on.
It's a wonderful night.
It would have been 18.
Here's what she said. This was not, from what I understand, this had nothing to do with World War II injuries, but she's close to being eligible. Former U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi hospitalized after injury in Luxembourg. She was admitted to a hospital for evaluation as she fell. And I think I saw somebody say, this is an older article, that she broke her hip. Oh, yeah. But of course, yeah, for the anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. She wasn't a...
Yeah, I was kidding when I said
I know. But she's close to being eligible to be a participant. And we'll see. I mean, when you break hips when you're that old, that's a problem, man. I know she got set up for surgery.
3 dots in the chat asks, her bazookas didn't cushion her fall.
Oh, no. Should have gotten some ass implants.
Yeah.
Then you could have bounced down the stairs. That's not funny. None of this is funny.
She's really old, too.
I know. But you remember, these are people who cling to like the superficial youth. I remember, when was it? The day that she and Chuck Schumer came out with literally, they both looked like they had their makeup done by morticians.
The what's that famous painting of the farmers?
The American Gothic?
Yeah.
Hold on. Chuck
It looked just like that.
Schumer, Nancy, joint statement. I don't even know what the hell they are talking about. Where the hell is it?
I think adrenochrome only works until a certain age.
And then what happens?
Then you just rapidly deteriorate.
Oh, man, I really want to have that picture. Where the hell is it? It's got to... Wait. No. I remember what Chuck Schumer looked like Vinny from Spaceballs. You know Pizza the Hutt's like right-hand man? Tell him, Vinny.
Oh, yeah.
He looked metallic. He looked like a robot. I got to find this. I don't know why the hell it's not the first one popping up. It's a very important picture of our history. But yeah, so that's one thing we have over there. Now, Trump, on the other hand, he's going to be at the Army-Navy game.
Yes.
With not only Pete Hegseth, who's his pick for defense secretary, and apparently now, from what I'm hearing, there is going to be confirmation votes for him. He's also going to be there with Ron DeSantis. You watch this game a lot. You're an Army guy.
Yeah. Army's going to kick their ass tomorrow. It should be good.
How many of those games have you been to personally?
Oh, like 4. I think I was a bad luck charm, though. Navy always won when I would go to them.
Is it when you were enlisted?
No, I was in high school.
Oh, okay. Is that when you knew?
We got tickets though.
Okay. Did you ever go to the academy, or you
No.
You just enlisted?
No, I did ROTC.
Okay.
No,
Gotcha.
I went to the academy to go visit, and they told me if you really want to go to this school, go move to Montana or Idaho because we have to take people from everywhere.
Okay.
They're like, do you have a 4.0? No.
How long do you have to be living in a state before they'll take you?
I don't know.
Because that'll look a little obvious if you just move there and then you apply a week later.
Oh, I'm sure that they have their fair share of like carpetbagging people.
But,
I don't know. But
they want to join.
It's a great game. And just as a football fan, it's fun to watch because, both teams, they run the option, which you don't see a whole lot anymore. And it's so quick, too. Because in college football, just the way that the clock works and they're always running the ball, and you don't have any because there's no incomplete passes. The clock just keeps on running and running. So a normal football game is like 3.5 hours. This is closer to 2.5.
I've never been to a college game. I've been to plenty of high school. I've been to my fair share of NFL games, all at Giants Stadium to see the Cowboys, though. Actually, one time I saw a Giants and Carolina Panthers game in, I don't know when the hell that was, but
college football's great. I mean, it's a totally different game in a lot of ways. The NFL's gone. I grew up a Redskins fan, and then as soon as they changed the name, they're dead to me. And the whole thing. I mean, it's all rigged anyway. But
did you hear that there's actually talk about they want to go back?
I don't care.
You can't go back.
There's people the most.
It's over.
I mean,
commanders. Commanders of what?
I've seen people wearing gear of like the commanders. It's like they took away your team. It's just the most cucked fan base of all time.
Listen, I will say I give a lot of credit to the Cleveland Indian fans who are out there who refuse to wear anything but Chief Wahoo.
Yeah,
Guardians. What are you guarding? You've already lost.
It's so selective too, and I know that it's not logical. They're just trying to piss people off. But what about the Atlanta Braves? What about the state of Indiana?
I know,
and it's
why do the Angels not offend any of the atheists out there?
Well, they did have, or was it the Dodgers where they had like the satanic ritual on the field?
Oh, with the Sisters of something?
Yeah.
crap, they deserve to, but nope, money will buy you lots. Yeah. On this plane, at least. Hey, more on Donald Trump, though. He spoke about the drones.
Yes, he did.
Here's what he tweeted out, or he truthed out 2 hours ago. He said, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? No. I don't think so. So let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down. I agree. Why not just a big net? How about that?
I hate this entire story. It's ridiculous. And now it's actually at the point where they're doing the exact same thing as the alleged Chinese spy balloon, where it did its whole, Mary Poppins tour across the whole country. And then Trump said, shoot them down. And then they shot it down. And here, they know, first of all, they know. And those clips of yesterday with, what's his name, Kirby, directly contradicting the mayors of these towns. I mean, as soon as you see those kinds of direct contradictions in the media, it's like, okay, well, this is bullshit. This is a psyop. It's designed to... It's gaslighting.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. But at the same time, these things are still here. I wonder if it's, I know it was either you or Tracy pointed out on Dark to Light today that it could be a publicity stunt. I don't know if it's so much a publicity stunt, but I was thinking about this story about how very soon, either next year or 2026, is when Amazon was supposed to start having their drone fleets. And it was going to be like in Ready Player One, where it just brings it right to your address. And maybe that's like a small part of it of just... How would that even work, by the way? Would it be...
No. If you're looking to roll out a new home delivery service that is all drone-based, which they have been teasing that for, I feel like, years now. I feel like for at least 2 or 3 years, I've been hearing about Amazon is going to be able to drop certain payloads off right in your front door directly from certain locations. It won't be nationwide, but they will start making that available. There is no way in hell, if you are running the show over there at Amazon, that you're going to create you're going to, just hover over restricted or sensitive air, airspace and everything else and cause such pain, because some people, I'm not panicked. I'm interested, but people are panicked.
There's no, I'm not suggesting the two are like that's what it's all about.
Like a promotion. No, you don't think it's a promotion?
Absolutely not. No.
That'd be stupid.
I mean, they're kind of two separate things. I wonder if it's going to be like, where are these things even going to fly? I'm saying like this could be in the future, whatever it turns out to be, unless they're actually going for it. Maybe just like passing new regulations on this kind of stuff, because how are all these going to work if we have all that extra stuff in the sky? Is it going to be like in Coruscant where they have like these
lanes?
Yeah.
Just drones zipping over our heads all day long.
Yeah,
because it can quickly get like that. And here's the other thing too. In a way, when I think about how everybody's so put off by this, it does give me a little bit of a thought, of a feeling that we can remember this moment when it was still new and we were all still like wondering, what the hell is going on over here? Is this strange or what? And then you just fast forward 50 years and what's going on above our heads constantly. Like, what is this the start of? That's the real question, because again, the discordant messaging here, the mixed messages, that's all I need to know about this.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that over the course of the last 2 weeks, just in Jersey alone, because as we've covered on this show, these swarming drone vehicles have been popping up over military installations all over the place. And still, the Pentagon was giving these clueless, we're looking into it kind of responses to things. I'm just like, get the hell out of here. It's, I don't know, man. That makes absolutely no sense. That at least that now, I saw, who the hell was it? Phil Murphy or somebody else from New Jersey was like, we need the government to help us. We don't have adequate enough resources. Adequate enough resources to what? Put commandeer a traffic helicopter to follow this thing until it lands.
You know, that is one of the weirder things about it too, is that fine, they're not going to scramble jets right now, but that not even a police helicopter has been sent up there.
It's stupid.
It's very strange.
It's not even that. Like I told Tracy this morning, with the way that things are going right now, it's not even like every news outlet in the world even needs a news chopper anymore. Everybody's got their own drones. You know, all the traffic reports that we get, all of the city skyline shots at night, whether it be a baseball game, a World Series game, whatever, they got drones flying all over the place that are feeding like top-notch video for live broadcasts all over the place. You know, I mean, this has replaced the helicopter in movie making and in so many other ways. It defies logic. That's why I think that's the biggest tell about all this stuff. So the real question, of course, is motive, and I don't know. That I guess we'll figure it out sooner or later. But it's so silly to hear people say, we don't know what they are, we don't know their capabilities, we don't know where they land, we don't know where they take off, but
yes, we do.
But we don't
from the mothership.
But from a mothership. It may be Chinese, it may be Iranian, but we are pretty sure that there is nothing to fear.
It is. I don't think it's Iranian at all. I think they want a reason to attack Iran. I don't think it's Chinese, unless the Chinese already secretly control our government. Then maybe it would be them. But like, why? Well, I mean, it's just. For what? What is it? I mean, I feel like it's just a test on the public, to be honest. And keep in mind too, remember this. It was on the after hours, I think a month ago. James Corbett did a big thing on it about the world simulation that first started at Purdue, where it's so advanced now. Just imagine playing like The Sims, but it's based on all of our data. And so whatever event happens, it's able to predict what everyone in the world would do and say about it. And now, if they're going to roll something out like this, they've already done those kinds of simulations before. And right now, nothing's actually happening. And that's why we're at that like peak point of like, well, what are these things? What are they going to do?
Yeah, I know. It's a very pregnant moment. You know, it's 7:47. Before we go to a quick break and then the whole second hour, I want to just take calls from people, all types of calls, especially if you got theories on this. If it's a distraction, what are we being distracted from? I tend to believe that, especially over the last however many years, we're in a zone where we are just being bombarded with happenings, to be honest. This serves a purpose. It can't all just be distraction. It could just, a lot of things could be happening at once, and there's only so many things you can pay attention to. And now the real question is, how many dots can you connect?
Well, if they start World War III and then these things disarm the nukes, we can connect a lot of dots.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Now, here is John Kirby, who has no qualms with lying about the Afghanistan, the drawing out of Afghanistan and the 13 American servicemen and women who were killed. And that was back in 2021?
Yes.
That was back in 2021. And when the information got out that they had known that there was going to be a bombing, that there was more than enough info out there, intelligence out there that could have saved American lives, he got more pissed off at the fact that the information was out than that they didn't do anything. So if you think that he's comfortable lying about that and being a party to murder, then drones is nothing. This is child's play. Take a listen to this.
I just want to add a few comments on the reports of drone activity.
Hold on. Give me a second. You be quiet there. Thank you so much for your service, though, musicians. All right, here we go.
On the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
Now,
By who?
I don't know, but for what I've seen, some of that is true too. I mean, some of these videos you can see fixed wings, and like I told again, because I was planning on doing this tonight, but Tracy, we spoke about it at great length this morning. It's almost like when you go to the dealership and you buy yourself a red Jeep, and after that point, you realize how many red Jeeps are on the road. There's a lot of people analyzing the night sky for the first time and realizing just how many things are up there, and drones have been a big part of it. Now, when I go to over the summertime when we brought Aurora to Playland for the first times, there was drones flying all around the amusement park. There was drones flying around the pier when they were doing all of the 9 o'clock fireworks, all that stuff. I mean, these are being used for operations big and small, domestic, whatever. It's going to be more and more commonplace. But when you start talking about the Volkswagen-sized things that they are obviously designed to attract a lot of attention too. There is no obvious desire to be conspicuous with these vehicles. They have the very bright lights. They're blinking. You can hear the buzzing, whether that is really because they're propelled. They are propeller based, or if they are just giving off sound to hide how high tech they are, to just make it seem like they're propeller based. Whatever the hell it is, these are designed to draw attention.
Yes, and the media is the one drawing the attention to them.
For now, those weeks when they weren't touching it at all. Now it's all over the place.
Well, but that's how those things always go, right? If they're going to make it look... right now, they're saying there's these crazy stories. We don't know what's going on. They are airing footage of this guy saying one thing, the mayor's saying another. They want you to be confused by it. They want to steal your energy for some reason. I don't know why. But it's never been good. There's never been any time the whole media was reporting on some crazy event that they totally don't know anything about. I mean, the way they report it reminds me of remember the monolith that they had in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
This summer, and just the way that the story was written. And the police were like, we have no idea how it got here. Like, they put it there.
Right.
And I mean, it's the same thing. And for Trump to come out and say he doesn't know who it is or what it is, yes, he does. He does. And look, I personally believe that this is all theater until proven otherwise. And I'm open-minded. I'm optimistic. I don't know. But for him to come out and say that, and maybe there's a good reason for it, I don't know.
Did you see what Sam Tripoli had shared earlier today? The screenshot from the conspiracy subreddit about from this supposed radar guy who says he knows who's operating the drones?
No.
Take a listen to this. 25-year radar operator for a major agency here. Just thought I'd let you all know what has been going on these past few weeks. The drones are part of a military drill being conducted by Space Force. You want to talk about Trump may or may not knowing something, Space Force being his baby.
Yeah.
Everything is on a need-to-know basis, which is why there's so much confusion. What gets me concerned and why I had to make this post is that something big is about to go down. I mean, listen, it could be hard. typical LARP. But I happen to know that there are additional full lockout drills that are scheduled to take place between now and Christmas Eve. These operations involve the full turnover of all radio, radar, and aircraft communications to the military for several hours at a time. In conjunction with that, there are also scheduled satellite launches off the books, which have been occurring since October. They are setting up for some big show for the public very soon. CNN was even at our facility shooting pre-roll footage for a future story. I don't know exactly what is going on, but all I know is this. Get ready. Peace and safety to all of you and your families. As always, get ready. Who knows? It's always exciting to read, of course, but...
it's Reddit, though. Did this come from Ghislaine Maxwell's accounts?
It could be. Could be one of her interns.
Yeah, Reddit's bad, man. Reddit, it's almost as bad as Wikipedia. Anything that's up there, they just use all these bots to suppress answers they don't like and pop up answers that they do, which are all nonsensical. And it's not even like Reddit to have Q posts like that.
I don't know. It's a little bit too old school, a little bit too it's too fun. It's crazy.
I'm not going to say that Sam Tripoli was immature for doing that because it's juicy, you know.
At this point, we know that all official sources of information are ridiculous to put any weight in, to like invest any kind of hope or weight or belief in. So just collect every juicy little well-written tidbit you have to see who wins at the end. Or sometimes along the way you can formulate your own theories that actually have more weight than anything else. That's why I like reading all that stuff still.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking. I wonder. My gut tells me it's too early for Bluebeam. I think so, but when the next big thing hits, it's gonna be a surprise. We're not gonna know. That's what that world simulator is for. You know, you think about the day before COVID happened. You know, people, you know, in our kinds of communities, if you were to tell them, you know, one day there's going to be this huge lockdown and the entire world economy will shut down, we'll have all these draconian measures put in, we'd say, yeah, okay, that's believable, we got it. But we tell you it's going to happen tomorrow. And you look around you and you're like, I don't see it yet. You don't see it until it's right on top of you.
It's true.
And I mean, we've been saying on this show that we think that like the 5G is going to play a big part in all this, or 6G or something. And the show in the sky, that technology is already there. But do they have enough already on a mass scale to put voices in people's heads and feelings in their hearts?
Yes. Especially the feelings. We're talking about
well, we know they can do it with targeted individuals, but can you do that to a whole population to get them to...
Oh, absolutely. We actually had covered that. I think it was part of a Bluebeam show that we did with Jay Myers from Jay Myers Documentaries. And it was talking about not only just targeted active denial systems, but also old legacy systems like the flicker rate in televisions, and also what was in the old the street lights. Any way to be able to broadcast a radio frequency that can actually bring a population to a level of agitation, so that all you need is a real trigger to get people to go to the streets. And I mean, you think about how saturated we are in EMF at this point. It could be anything. And the sources could be so plentiful. Just like enmeshed.
I mean, hey, I'm ready for it. I was looking forward to the economy being great, free speech on YouTube, quite frankly, going to 10 million people. But, you know, if we're going to have an alien war instead, that's just as good.
Can you imagine that? This is what we have to live with. This is what we're...
Right after Trump wins, we're so optimistic, and then this happens.
Well, you think about what has been happening since November. And again, you know, I think it was on December.
It has been quiet.
It's been very quiet, and I guess that's like, if you have the power to rush to remake the world in the course of 3 months, wouldn't you want to kind of be like chilled out anywhere else? Obviously, if you're part of the uniparty, you want to voice some kind of disdain and some kind of you're upset about the result of the election, this and that. But at the same time, don't rock the boat too much. There's been barely any even protests. I think there was a couple of, like New York City, some couple hundred people got together somewhere or wherever. It's been very, very quiet. I'm sure it's going to ramp up when it gets warm. They'll always find something to do. But with Russia and Ukraine, Syria now, there are so many different things. There's so many different things. I mean, immediately after the election, Joe Biden says, go ahead, bomb deeper into Russia. Like, there is a lot going on to try that you can say they're trying to remake the world in a very short amount of time to at least make it more complicated for the next guy. But I don't. Where it goes from there is
I don't know. And the economy is somehow still chugging along, doing okay. And it's just, and you know, that's one of those things that there are a lot of things like that of these systems where we say they have to collapse. Like, this just isn't sustainable. And those problems still exist.
Yeah.
You know, and it was interesting what they were saying about with Bitcoin too, of just, you know, who knows if this is the way that they're going to do it. But what Michael Saylor, that crazy guy, was talking about, the one who owns that huge company that's, you know, they're like biggest cheerleader right now. What he was saying was the United States should sell all of its gold and buy Bitcoin because it would crash the gold price and hurt other countries, and it would send the Bitcoin price to like tens of millions per. And if the U.S. held most of it, then they could just sell their Bitcoin to pay off the entire $35 trillion national debt, which is something that Trump himself actually said before. He told that to Maria Bartiromo, like, who knows, maybe we'll pay off our national debt with a little bit of Bitcoin and just give him a Bitcoin check, is how he put it. But it goes to show you too how they can kind of just make up whatever they want. Same thing with, you know, gold revaluation. These numbers are controlled in a computer, especially something like Bitcoin. And okay, you have $35 trillion in debt. You can just invent something or invent a new price for something, and that's what you say it is and what you say it's worth. And you amassed all this debt, so now you just create something else that's worth that debt, and then you pay it off. It's all bullshit.
That's why I like Robin McCutcheon's idea of just having a debt jubilee instead of going through all this transition. Because then what are you left with at the end? You would get rid of all that debt, but we're not left with a stable currency going forward. Still, we're not left with a currency that's backed by anything physical. I don't mind digitization I don't mind currency that is digital if the money that it is linked to is physical, like a physical.
Yeah,
that's it. So I don't mind that. And Robin made that point there too, that most of our transacting in the world is done through debit card that all have the chips in it. Yeah. It is digital. So, I mean, whatever. It
would be cool. I've seen those theories about having currencies backed by a mixed basket, like not just precious metals, but like oil and farm produce and just stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see how it actually ends up working out.
I would like my money backed by raw honey, locally sourced raw honey.
That'd be great.
That's what I would like.
Or maybe like 2 teaspoons of raw honey, right?
That or garlic and herb goat cheese. I want the United States dollar to be backed by garlic and herb goat cheese.
You see, the problem with that, though, is it's very Keynesian because it's perishable. So you have to spend it right away. It's like the time value of money right now, which it's crazy how like they teach that in every business school, and it's not a red flag. Like, what do you mean my money is worth less in the future? Why does that happen?
Hey, anybody in the chat room wants to call in when we start the second half? We're going to go on the second half right now. Call in also you can say, what do you want to see the United States dollar, the U.S. dollar backed by, if not gold and silver? It doesn't have to be a joke. You can talk about some type of, rare earth mineral or whatever that you think would be awesome, that there's just enough to be able to get this thing kickstarted and have a brand new day. So with that, let's take a really quick break. We'll come back, and then it's open lines because there's too much to talk about. And I still have more on the drone thing and a couple other stuffs. BRB.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Run, run,
Remember to Remember sales event. Get offers on select models.
Melikaliki Maka is the things we say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Just see those sleigh bells jingle and ring, tingle, tingling too. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-ding, come on.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button.
Quite frankly.
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 Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, guys.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. So everybody watch. Quite frankly. With Frank.
For you.
So listen, I need some help from the people in the audience because I've been looking around for some kind of verification on this and I can't find it anywhere. But I got an email last night that said that our old friend Captain Liberty had died. And you guys remember Captain Liberty? It's been a long time since he called in. We've fallen out of touch since I got nuked off of Discord. That's where we were mainly friends. And I think we had some email exchanges, but after Discord and after a while, there's something where he kind of like went to work on something. He was writing something. I hadn't heard from him. And somebody said that he was not well and he died, and he was doing regular stuff with Patriot Soapbox. And I've been looking all over for any kind of confirmation or denial of this terrible news. But if anybody knows anything, please get in touch with the show. So I don't know who else to ask at this point.
He was a great caller.
Fantastic caller. In fact, when I heard about this, and just a good friend to everybody, last night, I was thinking about the last time he had called in. It might have been around 2017, 18, or 19 that he called in to read The Night Before Christmas. He surprised us all and read The Night Before Christmas, and it's somewhere in the archives, and I don't know what date it could have been, and it was awesome. So
I remember that.
Yeah, I know.
You know, on a good news, a guy who's still doing okay. You know who one of my favorite all-time callers was?
Who?
Was, remember Comrade Fudge? H&I John Miller?
Kyle, yeah.
One of the best Twitters out there. I was so mad when he deleted it. But it actually got me thinking, and why everyone's going so crazy is because we're not adhering to the Fudge rule. And, you know, it was just a Trump rule, but maybe it should just be a rule for everything now that Trump's coming back. And that was, every headline is bullshit for 48 hours.
Wait 48 hours.
Do not pass any judgment for 48 hours. And yeah, maybe we even extend it to like, I don't know, a whole week or something. But because the stuff right now that's out there, it's designed to gaslight you and make you think you're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he did come back and he called in. I don't know when he called in.
It was like a year ago?
No. It was only about a month or so ago.
What?
He's back. Yeah, he called back. I think he's actually called in twice. I don't think he called since the election, but he came back and he said hello to everybody. So yeah, the Fudge rule, definitely 48 hours. You got to chill on that. But there's a lot of things, no doubt. I see a lot of people talking about, Captain Liberty. I want to know. I want to know more, and I just want to put it out there. All right, let's take some calls. 914-200-0269. 504, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, let me turn off my speakerphone, okay?
Okay. Who do I got here?
I used to be Physical Graffiti, but it's Roy Orleans from New Orleans.
Physical Graffiti.
What I wanted to point out is what playbook does this remind you of, a.k.a. New Jersey, like about 70 years ago?
War of the Worlds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it. You know, all these theories. You know, people floating around, but to me, it's a psyop, and that's the only way I can look at it. And what it reminds me of, the same shit that went down for COVID. See how the population responds, and see how they panic, or if they don't panic or not. And if they don't panic, guess what's going to happen? They're going to look. They're not going to use Vaseline. They're going to shove whatever they have up in the works up our asses, and that's what I'm worried about.
Well,
anyway, look. There are still people in the Twitch chat room who love you, and we all love you, and we still follow you. But yeah, this whole thing to me is so suspect, and it's so in your face. It's like, how stupid is the population?
There's a lot of people who don't. There's a lot of people who, I don't know, where if they're in a routine, and we're all just in different places in our lives, and when something foreign and something exotic happens, and all of a sudden it's happening a lot, and the first place that, I'm sorry to say, most people look to go to when they don't understand something is the news. And for a while, the news is not reporting on it, which is strange. And then, and this is where the psyop comes in, because things in the sky, whatever, there are lots of stuff going on in the sky that we can't explain, natural and unnatural. But the psyop comes in when you are looking for answers, and all the people you know are giving different answers. They're contradicting each other. That's where it comes in, because you're getting screwed up.
You know what, Frank? The funniest thing to me was Iranian mothership. Man, are you fucking dog style me, bro?
I know.
It's so stupid. But before I let you go, on a serious note, people know who I'm talking about. Viola and I, look, my UFO sightings have over the years have all been in daylight. So there was no discerning whether it was a helicopter, a plane, or whatever. I know what I fucking saw. And Viola, she can go out in her backyard every night and film this shit. And it's, you know, she's been sending me videos for years. So whatever this is, it's deliberate. It's meant to confuse people. And I think it's a litmus test for what's about to happen. I don't think it's blue beam. You know, and for sure, the Iranians don't have the capability to park a mothership off the East Coast and send off drones. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I know. I started thinking, wait, what do you mean mothership? Are you talking about something seafaring? Then where the hell's
I know. It's like look. What do you mean, like a Adamski mothership up in the sky?
It's in the
sending
clouds.
sending out fucking flying saucers. Come on, man. It's
the
crazy.
clouds. It's the clouds. It was up in the clouds. We didn't see it. It was in the sea. Our whatchamacall, our Coast Guard didn't see it. It makes zero sense. And to your point, again, I don't really feel that this is a moment where they're going to disclose anything, because there's nothing really, Mike, there's nothing really impressive going on up there. We're not seeing. I know that on the West Coast in Oregon, the pilots who have been reporting these things in the last couple of days or whatever, they were talking about craft going up to 50,000 feet.
Right.
They're talking about this at high speeds and 50,000 feet. What we have over here is helicopter-like behavior. They're not helicopters, most of them that are legit, out of the ordinary, but we're not talking about, right angle turns at 13,000 feet. It's not
exactly. Hey, before I let you go, I'm an old man. I'm 64, but I've been into this for 50 fucking years, and I can tell you something right now, and I'm so tired of hearing about quote unquote disclosure. It's never gonna fucking happen. Never.
No.
They ain't gonna look. It's not to their advantage to say anything about anything.
Not from the current crop, at least.
You know, it's crazy. But anyway, I love you, love your audience, and people. You know, I hate to whisper it, but there are still chatters in Twitch that love you.
Well, that's great. I'm glad. You know what I'll do? I think tonight, actually, because when I get home, I think I have a lot of things cleared off my desk here. And thanks for the call, my friend. I think I might actually stream sometime around 11 o'clock. I might even stream a little bit of Call of Duty on the Twitch. That's what I'm going to start doing. Things like that. I might do some prop hunt tonight. That's hilarious.
He brings up a good point, though. Do you think if something happened, is there any alien scenario where we meet them and you believe what you're seeing? I
always ask that, and
to me the answer is no.
I don't. It's so screwed but a category of people like us, we're going to have a hard time with a lot of things. But there are plenty of people. That's why I was saying when I was considering Blue Beam, or just like when I was considering the Antichrist, any kind of prophecy about the Antichrist was always about a charismatic person who attracts everybody to their cause, has a solution for a nagging problem of the world, and boom, you're ensnared in their trap. And I always thought, like, wow, this is going to be a very, very easy person to spot because literally everybody in public is so polarizing right now.
Yeah, that's why I don't like when there's like theories of who the Antichrist could be, you know. But not saying that like there couldn't be someone who could become that person, fine. But they have to be universally loved by like 99% of...
So the question is, I don't think anything is... The reason I bring that up is I don't think anything is universal anymore. I don't think anything would ever be accepted universally, unless, of course, it's a true act of God, and we have a collective road to Damascus moment, and boom, which I would love. That's the supernatural experience I would love, where nobody's denying it. It's in your face, and okay, it's time to pay the piper, or it's time to the game's over.
Yeah.
But outside of that, to put it into the context what we're just talking about here with, if you stare an alien in the face, again, that's a place where I believe that there's not going to be 100% consensus. So when I think about how a blue beam would be trotted out, it would just go back to COVID. How much of the people believed and accepted everything that we were told about COVID or something else? Or if you do blue beam in certain parts of the world where people are a lot more susceptible to this, or if it's never going to be for us, but if they can do something that is believable to a critical mass, then we're just going to have to live around these people again like we did with COVID.
Yeah, that's the one thing I feel pretty confident about, is whatever it's going to be, whether it's aliens or any other major false flag of some kind, the public's going to eat it up. And so it's one of those things, it sucks, but you got to look out for number one, look out for you and your family, and another thing about that too is right now we are being courted for our attention, but we as little people, there's only going to be a few times where you as an individual actually have to do something. And so you look at COVID, you don't have to wear a mask. Some people would choose to in certain situations, whatever, but when it came down to it, are you going to take the shot? And technically, they never forced it. They made your life miserable and they threatened to destroy you. And so some people will, and they never stuck the needle in your arm until you said, okay, unless you were a child. But other than that, if you just weathered the storm and stuck to your guns, you got through it okay.
Yeah. And again, That's what I consider all the time.
Yeah, and what's it going to be with this, with the alien thing? Is there going to be, or I guess the next one too would be the Neuralink, the merging with the machine. You either do it or you don't, and then whatever the alien is, you either take the probe or you don't, or whatever.
And again, to talk about certain categories of people, when we cover stories like that, you'll see a lot of people, in the chat room making their declarations about never. Like, it's not about you. It's not about you. Yeah. Nobody cares about us anymore. They're looking to massage this into the psyche of upcoming generations so that somebody else is just like, hell yeah, I want my Instagram to be in my fucking brain. I mean that's just what it is. It's not like, for example, they renamed a couple of years ago, 5, 6, I don't even know how long ago it is now. They renamed the Tappan Zee Bridge the Mario Cuomo Bridge.
I know. I drove over it today.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
Almost threw up over the side of it.
Everybody I know is just like, that's the fucking Tappan Zee Bridge until forever. I say, no, it's the Tappan Zee Bridge until you die. And then all that's left are the people who only know it as Mario Cuomo.
Yeah.
It's so we have to keep, like you said, look out for number one and keep ourselves, be honest with where we place ourselves in a planet of 8 billion people, 8 billion egos, and everybody's susceptible to the same kind of shit. It's a game of numbers, and I think that consciousness is rising. I don't think that we are anywhere near as lonely as we were before. Audiences like this are testament to that, but can't.
We're very fragmented, though.
It is.
But if it could be united somehow, just for that one message of "Don't get on the ships." Don't follow the siren song.
Don't. Please, whatever you do, let's take another call. 302, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank?
Yes, who's this?
My name is Jen. I'm in South Carolina.
Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Welcome to the call.
I just had to comment.
Show.
Thank you. I just had to call because I want people to research the rise of the Fourth Reich.
Mm-hmm.
The lights in the sky is the secret space program, the Fourth Reich. What happened with Hitler?
I was telling you about this.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was just this is one of those theories of what could the UFOs be, when the example that actually makes the most sense is that it's the Nazis, because they allegedly had this stuff during the war, and then there's the whole story about just Operation High Jump, that we know that happened. We knew that it was a disaster for some reason, and then I believe it was the Secretary of Defense, I've got it right here, who was defenestrated, thrown out of a window for talking about it to a nurse. I swear, I've got it right here in front of me.
Well, can I just bring up
Please.
a symbol? What the Nazi symbol? I'm putting that in quotes, air quotes. What does the Nazi symbol actually mean? What was the symbol Mustache Man is trying to tell us? What does that symbol represent? It represents universal Christ consciousness and the position of the North Pole. They were on to something. And if you look into the structures built in Russia, China, Egypt, all these pyramids around the world, they have that symbol. What is that?
Yes,
Why is that symbol so demonized? It's Christ consciousness. And Mustache Man's party, can't say it online, was infiltrated by who? Who actually won the world wars, specifically World War II? The global communists did. They won.
Well,
Not nationalism.
Well, there's a good amount there too to show that Hitler himself was a dupe. In the
yeah, he was absolutely duped.
So
or was he duped, or just kind of like went down his own little rabbit hole to like hide?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
I don't know. It doesn't I don't know. It never really attracted me to go to research it. All this stuff I have a lot of background on it because of Robert Sepper. He has done so much. He's done so much on the Vril, and of course, high jump is something that we've talked about a lot over the years. But he does a lot about that as well too. So this pops up, and the ancient history of the swastika. Man, I mean, he has done hours and hours on that just alone, on how symbols become twisted and demonized, and of course what then history goes and does when people retell stories and for posterity's purpose. It's a lot. Now,
of course. Of course.
I don't know as far as what this means in the skies. It doesn't seem like that to me. I got to be honest. Thank you for the call, Jen. Only because this. Maybe can we see if are they a saucer? They don't look. Everything's at night. What we've heard about the Nazi Bell, or what projects were relocated to Antarctica, and what could be down there, what technology was revealed to the Navy when we took off down there, and what deals were made afterwards. I don't know, but this shit in New Jersey doesn't look like it's very impressive.
No, exactly. And so real quick, it was in 1945, it was the Secretary of Defense, James Forrestal, who was killed at Bethesda Naval Hospital. And, but that whole story doesn't end with high jump. It ended with the 1952 show of force over DC. That was where that theory of that the actual Nazis never surrendered. They went to Antarctica. And this was like that, and there's been a standoff ever since.
You're talking about the saucers over DC,
correct?
Yeah.
And she brings up a good point of there is a history of this there, and because it was the Nazis, the most taboo subject of all time, it's something that really it doesn't get touched on a whole lot. But then to what you just said, that's not what these things are. The Nazis are not flying these pizza boxes and XUVs and mixed fixed wing, all this stuff. And then the media is just, gleefully, well, what could they be? It's interesting that she brings that up, and it's something that's worth exploring, but we're not, if that's what's going on and there's still we're in the continuation of World War II, they're not going to admit it.
See, and going back, who I forgot who the first caller was saying that we're not going to get disclosure. I said definitely not from this current lot.
Exactly.
But how far does the disclosure go? Because even if we learned, if we got some good bans on glyphosate or anything else, the pesticides and the things that we put in our food, if we got fluoride out of the water, those are the things I'm looking for. If we can get a little bit of insight into the JFK, the assassinations, and if we can start breaking apart some of the intelligence apparatus that actually has a big hand in keeping secrets, like what the hell was going on down there in Antarctica, including the arachnids. The arachnids that live down there.
And why does the Pope go there? John Kerry goes there.
I know. It's big.
Weird stuff. But I'll tell you what, I mean, this type of issue gets at the point of, or gets at the question that you have been asking for a while, is what is the point of all this? When you look back at the 1990s and early 2000s, they had, the elites had a great deal going for them. Barely anyone was awake. And they just, they could do pretty much whatever they want. And so then why is there this awakening now? Why are, there's all these channels, all these movements, they're infiltrated to the hilt by feds of every nation. Why is this happening? And that's when I like listening to people like Suspicious Observers. Maybe there is going to be some kind of event, a solar flare or whatever, that it's going to do something, and I don't know, they have to get out in front of it somehow.
I know. I mean, hey, yeah, I know.
I mean, there's so many ways that you can go with that, but you know what I'm saying? It's just there's why upset the apple cart? Is it just because of the economy and this, mathematically unsustainable Fed? And then every 100 years, you got to just pick a new asset, inflate that, and get rid of everything else? Maybe. Only again, 1998.
take us back to 1998, 1999. Now, I'm just getting out of 8th grade, going into freshman year at this point. So it's like I'm not even really very geopolitically conscious or anything like that. But now that I've had some time to be able to go back and analyze, what was going on in the adult world prior to 9/11, aside from my personal experience growing up in the before and the after, I that's why I asked myself the same question. It's that you have a relatively stable world. You have all control of everything you ever really needed still back then.
Yeah.
But you have a middle class and a little bit more flexibility for upward mobility. There is a lot more, economic diversity in the world. Europe is intact. Cultures are thriving. Middle class families that make up most of the world, lower to middle class families that make up most of the world, who don't care about anything but a little bit of job security and being able to make memories with their families. Why, if that is all normal people need to be content, then why the fuck did everything have to get destroyed?
Yeah, and and when you look back to right before 9/11 too, the public would probably be more excited by the prospect of UFOs and aliens.
How many times have I said that?
Well, I know it's just funny because, really since 2017,
since December of 2017,
it was the New York Times and it was Tucker Carlson simultaneously, so it's coming from both sides, so you can trust it. That's when these UFO stories started to get published seriously, and at that point, no one cared because you had all this Trump hysteria. I worry about now if we actually get aliens. Who's going to be the people up on top of the towers welcoming them, getting blown away? What group could even do that today? Who would buy it?
I don't know. Because that was 2017 is when we got the Tic Tac, and it's when we got Oumuamua.
Yeah.
And then for the 7 years that followed, right up until the last 2-3 years, where it's just been nonstop, these are the types of headlines. These are the stories that would have made the world stand still. In 1997, that would have been, one of those. That's the Tic Tac story alone would have.
What story today could even make the world stand still? As fragmented as it is. If it's tied to politics, I feel like one side would always reject it.
I mean, we were close to having I guess it wasn't a successful assassination. It wasn't a successful assassination, I guess, if Donald Trump actually died in Butler.
But how many people would have cheered that on, though? You know what I'm saying? What kind of universal moment is?
Oh, a universal moment?
I mean, just because the news cycle moves so quickly. If that assassination attempt had been successful,
I don't know.
We'd have a different president right now. And
here's another example. This is slightly off topic, and then we'll take some calls again. We'll take some calls again in just a second. I was talking with just in general about how things are moving, how fast things are moving. I was talking with Professor Bowling.
Yeah.
And I got in touch with him. He got in touch with me because he shared with me a link to a 16-minute video or so that Barry Weiss, the journalist who wrote for the New York Times, and then in 2018 or 19, whatever the hell it was, penned that public letter as to why she's resigning from the New York Times and pretty much exposed the culture that was going on, things that we all really knew, but it was like one of those first high profile defections from the media that was killing itself. Not that she's not a progressive type person, but it's just, some people who are center left actually want to have some integrity at their job.
Yeah.
But anyway, he got in touch with me to show me this thing. And I was reading it. They're talking about how the media landscape is being completely transformed. And it's not only a cultural shift, but it's a technological shift. And those things going together, it's creating incredible amounts of momentum. And I was telling Professor Bowling, I said, because I think around 2013 or 2014, 15 at the latest, but I think it was earlier than that, he asked me to appear in front of one of his classes, and he was doing the history of media. and he wanted me to come in to talk about the internet, broadcast in the new media and all that stuff. And I told him, watching this video and reading some of the headlines recently across the whole board, I said, I often think about the material that I brought to the table in that class, and oh boy, to think about the level of change since 2014 or so, it has been, if you think about the culture paired with technology, especially technology that has enhanced social media, broadcast capabilities, it has just mind-altering shit, and AI, all of it. You think about that level of change. I think if you applied the amount of change that we have had in the last 10 years to any other era in human history, it would have amounted to at least 100 years worth of change. I think that we have well over a century's worth of change in just 10 years.
Yeah,
and
that was something you asked Jeremy Ryan Slate. How quickly would the Roman Empire have fallen apart if they had the internet?
And it's the reason why I say it's the only X factor when everybody's, when we consider the life cycle of a civilization, it's the only X factor that we still have not explored, and whether or not that this is going to be a savior, if it's going to give it maybe just some people the ability to coordinate and make themselves a life raft to escape the bottoming out. Like, what the hell is that going to be? Is it going to hasten our demise? Is it going to? We don't know how it's going to apply.
No, and we're going to find out one way or the other, and the changes are going to get even more intense. We talked about the fleets of drones coming, but there's also going to be 10 billion humanoid robots. There's going to be more of those than there are people, and what's messed up is it will be a kind of double-edged sword, and one of those will be a good edge, just kind of like how a Neuralink chip in your brain can make you have the use of your limbs again if you're a quadriplegic. And that's great. And they're going to have to bring a lot of this automation in because of the population problem. It's something that actually is a huge, we're going to have a slump, and we got to have something to plug that gap.
What do you think about the theory? And I've seen this targeting, putting Elon Musk in the crosshairs, especially, but that again, the elites, that elite level of person, like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, whatever, the Jeff Bezos types, Mark Zuckerberg, they know that there is going to be a geophysical shift of the earth, and that not only are they preparing themselves, new places to be when we go through this, this kind of snow globe shakeup of things, like Ben Davidson from Suspicious Observers talk about. But not only that, but that the Optimus robots are actually there to replace many of us that are going to be gone once that shift happens.
Maybe. I think it's interesting that that all it takes is a bunker. That it would be something like that, something on the surface. If you're in your bunker, you're fine, and maybe it is. Maybe and maybe the Georgia Guidestones weren't like a plan for what to do, and maybe it was just this is going to happen. I don't know.
Well, to your point about AI and everything else, I know that this has become, I would say, contested by a bunch of people. I saw, Zach Voorhees contesting this. I asked him about it. But this Google Willow, the Willow, the quantum chip.
Yeah.
I saw this headline. Just listen to the headline. I had sent this to Professor Bowling as well, too. Google Willow quantum chip has solved a problem that the best supercomputer would have taken a quadrillion times the age of the universe to crack. Now, what is the age of the universe, and how you know that this problem was, a quadrillion times that, if the best supercomputer, I don't know. But even if we're talking about technology that can solve problems that in any, a couple of years ago would have taken 100 years to crack, this is an acceleration that's incredible. And that's why when we're talking about taking leaps into the future like this, and we look at these little, like these drones that are just kind of with their blinking Christmas lights over New Jersey. I'm like, that we're being played here, and I just wonder what high tech reason that is not being shown to us is hiding behind this like cheap light display. I don't know.
I don't know either. And I think it may have to do with something actually like otherworldly or demonic, and just wanting to like siphon off all of our energy. Because if you just wanted to kill a bunch of people, there are easier ways. There are less expensive ways. Like, why not just do it? I don't know.
It's a good point. Always a good point. Yes. I don't know, man. It's well, hey, again, I think that this really goes into our direction, in our hands too, because everything's being so splintered that I think that there's enough resources for a little can go such a long way that there's enough resources that anybody can compete now, and we're seeing it. And who knows where it all goes? But let's take some calls, and I'd like to give away this piece of silver too. So the 40, let's just do the 50th. Let's do the 50th caller over the next 18 minutes. Just give me a call and let's see who the hell shakes out. They're already coming in. There we go. Here on and 818. You're on the air. Go ahead.
To give away this piece of silver too. Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Is this Frank?
Yes, it is. Can you take me off a speakerphone?
Yes.
There you.
Hi there.
Hi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. First-time caller.
It's great to hear from you.
And love your show. Okay, here's the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the real deal. In 4 years, Apophis, Apophis, is going to come roaring towards Earth. This is a huge asteroid. It's out there. NASA has published it. We've known about this since 2004, probably before that, but they let the public know. Now, in 2 years, Apophis is going to be seen with the naked eye of people looking up into the sky. You know, if it's not a bad chemtrail day, you're going to be able to see Apophis coming towards Earth. Now, there's also in the Bible, Revelation 8, it talks about wormwood. Wormwood is when planet Earth gets hit by, it says, it indicates 2 asteroids, but a lot of people believe it's the same asteroid that has been broken up.
Okay, so so Apophis, it's going to hit you. What's the point? You think that we're going to get hit by this in 2 years? I did a quick search over here.
No.
I did a quick search, and it says when it was first discovered, Apophis was considered one of the most hazardous asteroids that could impact Earth. Initial observation indicated a 2.7% chance that it would hit the Earth on April 13th, 2029, not 26. But so what's your? Just give me your conclusion.
Okay. Well, in 2 years, it's going to be visible with the naked eye. It doesn't hit until that Friday the 13th, which is April 13th in 2029.
Okay.
Which is 4 years from now. Okay. This is all documented on NASA.
So is that why that's why you because I'm just trying to get to the point because we have more calls coming in. Is this why you would suspect that all of these mega wealthy people are building their bunkers?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
100%.
It's not just
it's going to
create
Okay. So according to the Bible, if you check out Revelation 8, it's going to kill a third of the population, the sea life, the oceans are going to become bitter. Mm-hmm. My point is, it's coming. This is a fact. This is just the way it is.
Well, wouldn't that be wouldn't knowing the date be anti-biblical? Since that the biggest thing I've taken away from the end times in the Bible is that no one would know.
Well, they said they would not know about the rapture. But what I'm saying is this asteroid is coming from NASA.
All right, so then we're going to...
This is scientific.
Okay, so then...
I was just giving you some extra information there.
Very interesting.
And
so it's going to be an impact.
They're saying
that
this asteroid is going to come within 18,000 miles of our planet, that it's going to be below our satellite.
Okay, so then that's what we're going to do for now. Is the April 13th, 2029. Take a look at it. Caller believes that it's going to be an impact. It's not going to be the weakening magnetic fields that allows the Earth to do the snow globe thing. That is what everybody is building their bunkers for in Hawaii and elsewhere. It's a impact.
As long as we can keep Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck healthy, asteroids don't scare me.
Well, Bruce Willis is on his way out, unfortunately. I keep hearing with the aphasia and everything.
Who's going to captain the other shuttle, then?
I don't know. And what's his name? Michael Clark Duncan is gone, too.
Oh, yeah.
Big Bear.
We got to get together a new team.
Steve Buscemi is he's still available. You have Steve Buscemi.
Maybe don't send him up this time.
I know. And you have this crazy Russian guy, too. Oh, all right. So that was caller number 7, by the way. So... now we only got 13 minutes.
I told you to give it to the 13th person.
Oh, 309. Go ahead. How you doing?
Hey, Frank. This is Chris from Bloomington, first-time caller.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, great show you guys got there. Hey, you were talking about adrenochrome earlier tonight and about how
Nancy ran out of it.
And, well, think about this. Remember back in the time when Lance Armstrong, they figured out how he was cheating the system with dope in his blood and everything else? Well, let's say some of these elites had enough money that they could hook their bodies up to, let's say, a 6, 7, 8-year-old child that's full of growth hormones and everything like that, and transfuse that child's blood with theirs. How long, and again, how long do you think they could extend their life? By going in for regular treatments and stuff, and adrenochrome, maybe that's just something to think about. And I think there's some truth. You start looking at some of the cult of the Black Sun, where they've learned how to defy age. Well, could you get to the age of 900 like Methuselah and all those? So anyway, something to think about. Maybe talk about again on another show. I think there's something hidden there that these people. Some of the elites, the stars, how in the hell does Dr. Fauci at 86 years old, I just lost my father this week, he was 86. Fauci is in impeccable health at 86. How in the hell is he staying so young? What kind of, obscure hormone treatment are these guys getting? Sorry, I'll let you talk.
No, first of all, Chris, I'm very sorry about your loss.
Hey, thanks, Frank.
I really am. And God bless him. And but 86, I got to say, because I know a lot of elderly people now, sometimes an 86 can be 66 for some people. They are just about, I have a friend, my friend Sue, who I used to train. I think she's about 84, 5, 6 right now, and she's still traveling around the world, going to Paris, here, there, and she's certainly not getting any infusions. She just takes care of herself, and then of course genetics takes plays a part in it all. Now, from a ritualistic standpoint, I would love to do a show on life extension and all types of theories, especially with Jay Gulanello. Ask him about this, because I would like to know about telomeres. I'd also like to know about solar cycles and moon cycles again. We've touched on the 13-month, 28-day moon cycles before, and what the benefits of that may be for human beings and living life. Not only is there people who say that there is something very, very important about living on that 13-month moon cycle instead of the 12 months, where it kind of disrupts you and all that shit, but it actually extends life. But also, I've read that these experiments of people who went underground or into caves and like stayed there for a couple of months at a time, where to at least to a point where they have lost all track of time, and what they found was that when there was no routines and nothing else really giving them any kind of cues, the body sometimes, or at least in these situations, goes into 48-hour cycles instead of 24-hour cycles. And perhaps that's a little bit of something about, why we're not living to 700 years anymore, or at least 200 years. But as far as the parasitical elite and things like blood doping and adrenochrome and all that other stuff, I can't imagine that is the silver bullet. It has to be part of some other protocol. I can't imagine how you can take a 90-year-old, 98-year-old bag of bones like George Soros or something like that, and all that would be necessary to get him to 150 years old is to give him a couple of quarts of a prepubescent, it can't be the only factor there.
That is a thing. Of like drinking younger blood, like vampirism is real.
Oh, I understand, but it can't. It's not just the consumption alone can't be the only factor there. There has to be something else.
I'm sure that there is. As far as the whole, aligning yourself to the cycles of the heavens, that just makes sense. Living your life as close to like the currents of the earth as you could. Sure. I mean, you look at how many. Even like native tribes around the world, how healthy they are, and they don't have any. I mean, they're not ingesting like the poison that we have, but even just some people say like wearing too many clothes, wearing shoes is bad for you,
and they certainly don't know about things like telomeres.
Yeah,
and but
they're just more in touch with their roots,
right? It's something that has to be explored, no doubt about it. So that got us to that was caller number 12. It might just be the last caller. 270, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, is this Frank?
Yes, it is. Who's this?
Wow, Frank, this is Jeremy calling, first-time caller.
Jeremy, it's great to have you on. Now, Jeremy, I got to say, you are the 17th caller. So we're getting close, getting closer there, but still, I can't wait to hear what's on your mind. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. I'll just make it quick. I think that as far as the drones go, my hunch is that, they're probably doing something. The deep state is doing something. But another kind of point of view to look at maybe is if there is a legitimate reason for this going on, maybe it's something, with terrorists. Maybe like there's a dirty bomb or a nuke or something and they're out looking for it.
I don't. Well, hey, if you're talking about whether or not that is the reason why there is a complete.
Yeah, like why the drones would be up there, kind of, why our government would be up there, kind of flying around looking for stuff and not telling people. They wouldn't want to cause a panic.
It's interesting.
And if you think about, how our borders have been open so much over the past
that
few
actually
years,
is
entirely
a perfectly
possible.
logical.
It's a very logical. That's a very. Now, if this was only happening in Jersey, I'd say okay. But so the real question is, what is the nationwide operation?
Yeah.
But that is a logical.
It could be a distraction from whatever's in Jersey.
Because you say, listen, we need a couple of weeks. Being aerial, we gotta find one thing, locate something, whatever, and we just string us along. Just tell everybody that nothing's wrong, so that there's no real mass panic. And
right.
But out of all of the Occam's razor type of theories out there, at least that's one that's not the most crazy. But
I tend to doubt my theory the most, but I think it's probably what everybody else is kind of thinking. There's something more, with the government screwing around going on. But yeah, that's all I pretty much had to offer.
Well, thank you for the call, my friend, and have a good night.
All right, thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. Imagine that. Okay, let's go. 832. What is happening? You are caller number 25.
Well, I'm halfway there, Frank.
I know. I think we might have to drop it back down to 47 because there's only 5 minutes left in the show. But what's on your mind?
Oh, not much. Just want to call and say Merry Christmas, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Oh, well, who was this, by the way?
I'm sorry. This is Kathy from Texas.
Oh, Kathy. I see. This is
Second time calling.
I know. This is part of the reason why I wish Zoom would get with it and allow me to store people's names because it's good to hear from you. And when I don't know anybody but their area codes and their whatever, it's all like a lottery. And that's it. But I'm glad I won the lottery and had you call in tonight, Kathy. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. See ya. All right, let's keep going. 704, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, I can't believe I got through. I'll keep it quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Buddy. I called you on the nukes, and I'm the guy that said about the rockets. But I just want to say real quick, you remember the Sparks guy that you were talking about with the algorithm and the UFO invasion? You couldn't find any information on it. Maybe he was just a week late, but this stuff was supposed to happen on the 3rd, right?
Cliff High.
Yeah, Cliff High. That's
okay, so you know, thank you for bringing it up because I think it was around like December 1st. All that stuff about Cliff High was going around.
Yeah.
That
and you know what? All this UFO stuff started. I mean, these drones started a couple of weeks ago, and it's been gradually getting worse and worse and worse. And they're saying no threats, but there are no threats until everybody starts waking up, going. People start showing up, going, "Hey, I got missing time, and my butt kind of hurts."
Well, you know? I never saw anything from the original 2009 prediction that people talked about, but what I heard about it was that there was going to be, UFO stuff. There was going to be UFO versus UFO. There was going to be sky battles and things like that. We didn't necessarily get all that, but you got to admit, we got a lot. We got all this. That's pretty sweet.
Well, if you go to rents.com, RENSE.com, and you watch the second video, if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see this Ring doorbell video from in New Jersey, and they're not drones, bro. Now it's a 17-minute video, so don't watch the whole thing. Just that very first one, those things flying by that Ring doorbell were not drones.
Well, then you know what? Somebody has got, and it's another thing that I don't understand. It's one thing to say that nobody. Thank you for the call, David. You were number 37. We got we're in 40s. We're in the 40s now. Before I lose my track of thought.
Cliff High.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Ring doorbells. They're not drones. It's been weeks. There are just drone enthusiasts who should have been able to not only maybe track these things for a little while, but get right up on these things and take a picture
with their own drones.
And not only that, but even people who are observing from the ground level to be able to observe the night sky through either infrared or through night vision to at least get a silhouette of the shape of these things so we can see whether or not it was those pizza box with the 4 arms and the propellers. We can just see the structure, the skeletal structure of these things.
You know what we need to do? We need to get a drone, a good one, and then have the screen here in the studio, just do a screen capture on OBS, and we can just have a night, like you say you're going to live stream, play Call of Duty. You should just have a show just where you're flying the drone around Jersey.
Oh, yeah, can you imagine that? Especially if we're in a car. And we can be in the car like on the turnpike or something like that.
Yeah, but live stream it just in case we see something good.
Yeah, you'd have to be live streaming the actual feed. Is that possible?
That actually, you asked before, can you shoot it down? That'd be really hard to do. However, if you played bumper cars in the sky, maybe that's a better way to go up there and knock it down.
There's a lot of other things I can think of.
Me too, but I don't want to say it on the air.
Yeah, they're all illegal. They're all very illegal. Okay, 630, you're calling and you are number 39.
Oh man, way off, huh, Frank?
Well, not too way off. Not too way off. This is very crude, my counting over here. I'm trying to make it work, and it's still a lot of fun. But at least I got you to call in quickly. What's on your mind? It's 9:00.
Yeah, this is Ming the Merciless. Last time I spoke to you was right after Aurora was born.
Wow.
And it's been a while.
Wow.
But yeah, did you find out if Captain Liberty passed? Because I listened to him on Patriot Soapbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they weren't on this week.
I am sorry to say that I just got this. I got this email from Serpentine Anon 48 minutes ago after I had brought it up. It says, yes, Frank, I can confirm that sadly Captain Liberty passed away last weekend. I don't know any details other than his Patriot Soapbox co-host Coach Clay and I-70 announced it on their show the other night. And when somebody had told me about this last night, and I had been looking for somebody to get in touch with, maybe I can find this Coach Clay. I think we've spoken in the past. I think I was on Coach Clay's show before. I don't know. But we got to know, and this is very sad, and Captain Liberty is a very cherished part of the past of this show. It really, I mean, I still have over here in my live media, I still have, where the hell is it? The picture of Sam Elliott that I used to put on screen when he called in, because it just, here he is, Captain Liberty. I put this is his call-in. Every time he would call in, boom. It's the voice. I just thought it's just that deep, rich voice. He told a story, and it would just be like, go ahead, tell me whatever story you want. Everybody loved it. So I kept the Sam Neill. No, not Sam Neill. Sorry, that's somebody else. I kept him up there.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because they always hinted that Captain Liberty was some kind of movie star or something to do with Hollywood. He talked many stories about many famous people he knew in the industry. So I think there's a mystery there that may come out now, that who actually he was. I'll let you know if I find out.
Let me know. And listen, I don't know if you. I mean, I'm going to try to make contact with somebody. This is very, very upsetting, and I'm just I'm grateful we were able to spend all that time with him on air, and he added a richness to the show every time he called up. But thank you for the call, my friend.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. That's too bad.
It really is. It really is, and not knowing is, that's terrible. All right, let's see here. We're going to have to settle for, let's take a call. 989. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, what's going on, Frankie? This is Razor Romano.
This is Razor Ramon?
Razor Romano, no.
Oh, okay.
I just got that name from working on the road there. So.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, he sounds like a very famous wrestler of the past. How are you, my friend? You know you are caller number 45.
Oh, sweet. That's cool.
Yes. Yeah, you got
like to get through sometimes. So, yeah, you have a wonderful night. I just trying for number 50. So, you have a good night. Thanks.
You know what? You're so nice. Send me an email with your area code, your name, and all that stuff, and I'm going to send you at least one of the wooden coins, and I'll send you some stickers and stuff.
Hey, that's excellent. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, and
God bless.
I hope to hear from you more. I'll get you one of these things, but thank you so much for the call, my friend.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Right, take care. And now there's so many. Let's just go, and boom. Caller, who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Who's this?
This is Moon Bunny.
Moon Bunny?
Moon Bunny.
Moon Bunny.
I'll just say, yeah, Moon Bunny, did I win?
You won, yes.
I did?
Yes, you're number 50.
Holy, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I called in to say Merry Christmas, love you.
Well, I'm going to say Merry Christmas right back. I'm going to send you a wooden coin, and I'm going to send you a round of silver. And I thank you so much for playing. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
So you got to email me. Email me with your name and your area code, just so I can confirm it's you, and then I'll get your address, and out you go. So
all right, will do, Frank.
Well, listen, wait. You're the last call. You're the last call of the night. Just say something to everybody. Well wishes or a good evening, whatever you want to do. Go ahead.
Absolutely, I love the chat. I hug the chat every night. So, yeah, I wish everybody happy holidays, and let's not worry too much about alien invasions. We'll all be good in the end, okay?
No, absolutely. There you go. See, that's a hug. A hug of the chat room. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All
Talk
right.
to you later.
Take care. There you go. All right. So listen, that's just a little bit. Next week, we're going to be giving away a gold back, and I'm going to have more stuff here. I just want to have some fun with you guys. And
you know what you actually should do?
What?
You should put the gold back in a package. Make it gold, myrrh, and frankincense.
Where the hell would I get myrrh?
I don't know.
A frankincense is just like incense, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like that's just like the stuff that you burn.
I've seen a bag of it before.
What the fuck does myrrh look like? What the hell am I thinking here? Hold on. Myrrh. Hold on. It's a plant. Let me look at this here. Myrrh. What the? They gave this to Jesus?
Myrrh is a resin that comes from the bark of Commiphora trees.
Are you serious? Oh, wait. The uses of myrrh oil.
A well-known
oil
ingredient in perfumes and incense.
Okay, there you go. I was going to say, don't give Jesus these rocks. What are you doing, wasting his time like this? There it is. I see the oil, the benefits and uses of myrrh oil. Let's go check it out. 11 surprising benefits. Myrrh oil may have benefits for like killing bacteria, protecting oral health, but more research is needed. What's the 11? Kills harmful bacteria, may support oral health, supports skin health, and may help heal sores, combats pain and swelling, may be a powerful antioxidant, kills some parasites, and sunscreen. Cancer, test tube studies suggest that myrrh oil may help kill or slow the growth of cancer cells from the liver, prostate, breast, and skin. However, this hasn't been tested in people. It's all sourced. But they're obviously being very, very careful on healthline.com.
It sounds good enough to try.
Yeah, it says gut health. One animal study indicates that myrrh compounds may help treat intestinal spasms to relate to irritable bowel syndrome. Mold, test tube studies note that myrrh oil may help kill mold, including Aspergillus niger. Aspergillus.
Oh, I just realized too, what's really scary about all this UFO stuff. What's Santa going to do?
Santa's going to get shot down this year.
The children have to get their presents. I hope not. I mean, are they going to put some defenses on the sleigh?
This is the year it happens, Mike. This is the year it finally happens. He's getting shot down this year.
Who would shoot at Santa? What kind of heartless Grinch do you have to be?
I don't know. John Lithgow? For free?
How many terrible parents would use it as an excuse?
There was no, I'm sorry, children. Santa got shot down by somebody in, by the Pine Barrens in New Jersey this year. He was shot down over the Pine Barrens. They can't find him. We'll get you some gifts like around March or something to make up for it. Are you okay?
Terrible.
Don't worry, honey.
Kids come downstairs. There's no presents.
I know. Santa's lost in the Pine Barrens. All right.
We're kidding, kids. That won't happen.
We're kidding. Don't worry about that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Hey, Mike, John, it's so great to have you here. I hope you had a good time.
It's wonderful. I'm here all weekend, so I can't wait for tomorrow. Big Christmas party in the studio.
Well, the last time you were here, it was November 5th, and we were doing this. And this room looked completely different. So, what are you thinking?
It did. It looks great right now. I like the paint. We got to get something else behind you. The moon looks great. My favorite addition, honestly, I do love the yellow lava lamp by your desk. I think that's a great new color. But I love these buildings. You got the two towers behind you, Chrysler over there, and then Empire with King Kong back over here. They look great.
People didn't see Matt's corner yet.
That was just redone over there.
That was just redone over here. I love this corner. There's only a little bit of reflection in that authentic, whatchamacallit, that Hindenburg headline. But other than that, we've got I really love.
You got to figure out where to put the stripper pole.
The stripper pole is going to be right in the center. Okay. But the human cannonball, that's not going to reflect. I said Matt, that'll be good with Matt's corner. Chrysler looks good over there. And I was thinking, because behind me, I have an idea of what I'm going to do over here. And I also know what I'm going to do over here.
Oh, you already told me.
Yes.
Yeah, don't tell them yet.
I'm not going to tell them yet because it's actually going to relate to something that's going on in that.
Have you always had these lights hanging in here?
No, I
like them.
I went up there. A couple of weeks ago and I put them up. I really hope that they last forever because if they start blowing out, it's a pain in the ass to get up there.
Well, I was going to say during the off season, white would look just fine.
Off season of what?
Christmas.
Oh yes. Oh, I'm not. No, this is not just because of Christmas. This was the lights that we have right here, and if I had the swivel cam plugged in, I would give everybody a view. It's just Christmas lights.
Yeah.
But at the first studio, we had the Christmas lights all throughout. It was so cozy. So this is finally. It took me so long to build up the will to get up there and start hanging these things because it's not the old studio was like a 7.5 foot ceiling.
No, this is great. It's it's glowing and luminescent in here.
And you know what? I think the Franklin Street sign is going to stay there for a little while too.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And that is just so you all know, that is an authentic humpback. I've had this in the studio for a long time, and you haven't been able to see it because it's been mounted in different spots. This came from a friend of ours. Said, Frank, this antique porcelain humpback, double-sided New York street sign, cobalt blue with the white enamel. In the mid-1910s, New York City embarked on a more concerted effort to standardize street signs. By that time, the large electric-powered street lamps, either in Bishop Crook and long-armed Corvington varieties, had already appeared in numbers along Manhattan and Bronx streets. In 1914, of course, Manhattan and the Bronx were united in New York County. After that year, the Bronx was a county on its own, and Manhattan and New York County became coterminous. On the corners, with large lampposts, blue and white signs indicated the street, with the cross street indicated and an oval extension of the sign, hence the term humpback. So there is the Hudson Street cross, where installed cat-a-corner to each other on the pair of signals to come. Let's see here. Special decorative brackets were designed to attach them to the lamppost and hold them in place. The building at 105 Hudson Street, corner of Franklin Street, still stands. Your sign might have been in front of that building or in the opposite corner. So I forgot who sent this to me because they didn't sign, but really beautiful stuff. And it's a Franklin Street, so it's authentic. It's heavy as hell. That's why when I nailed it into the wall, I put nails underneath it too to create a platform.
I like it. It's one of a kind, and it fits nicely there in the window.
Yeah, to hell with it. All right, guys and gals, thank you for everything.
Real quick.
Yeah.
We have a brief after hours. I didn't have time to put the whole thing together. We are playing the 1951 edition of A Christmas Carol with
Sweet.
what's his name?
Alistair Sim?
Yes.
That's
going to start in 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
As soon as we're done here.
There you go. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yes.
Shit. Super chats.
Oh.
Real quick. AK says, why were drones flying over Trump's Bedminster? Makes me wonder if they were thoroughly mapping it out in order to take him out at a future date. Did you see the video Iran put out a couple of years ago showing them drone killing Trump while he was golfing? Man, AK, there's something for you. But again, it wouldn't have actually been Iran.
No.
But interesting theory about the mapping. Jay Britt says, happy Friday the 13th, Frank and John. I emailed you the Pope Portals link. Thank you. Yes, we got it over here. Thank you for that. Mama Gnomes says, drones have come to the Poconos and the local Facebook groups are hilarious, waiting for someone to take one down. We got a little bit of that over here too. Then again, we just had a small passenger plane, like a Cessna or something, completely miss the landing strip at Westchester County Airport and crash landed on 684.
I heard you say that. Yeah, I drove through the Poconos today. I didn't see any UFOs though.
No? Well, it's the daytime. Nothing happens. Things only happen at night.
Right.
Let's see here. Over on quitefrankly.tv, there's a lot. Doug Simmy, thank you so much. Cave Toad says, John freaking Carroll? Holy cow. How about plane crash, Frank? Which one? In Westchester? It's sad. Somebody died. The other person's in critical condition. There's pictures of it there too. It's not too far from here. Cave Toad says those are some serious chops, John. I guess you're talking about your mutton chops.
Thank you.
Sean Joe, thank you. Whole bunch of cookies there. Cave Toad is giving away 3-month bronze tier subscriptions. So people who are claiming them are going to be in the book club. They're going to be in film club. They're going to be involved in the Sunday streams and so much more until about April. Just about April. So look at that. Cave Toad is giving everybody subscriptions. Remember, on Sundays and everywhere else, if you are a subscriber to the show through Foxhole and Pilled, all of your exclusive links are sent to you in your direct messages. So be sure to check those. Cave Toad says, hey, would you rename the Angels the Watchers, or better yet, the Aztecs? I don't know. The Watchers would be interesting.
We already have Aztecs. Watchers. San Diego State's the Aztecs.
Yeah, but the Watchers are interesting. That because it wouldn't be too far off. CB Joey says, gives me that gold back. Well, you know, it'll be here, and it's a Florida. Thank you for Doug Simmy and Stowstube, who are just burying me in cookies. Stowstube says, great Friday, Frank and Franklies. Doug Simmy says, to hell with you, I'm burying you. Then said Chai Possum, by the way, thank you so much for your mail. I've been getting so many of your mail, your pieces of mail now for Christmas now. Chai Possum just came in. I put it under the tree. We're not going to open it up until these little tiny, anything wrapped. People send little tiny things that are wrapped or whatever. Anything wrapped, I just put under the tree. So it just stays there for a couple of weeks. Hopefully it's, big surprise for all of us. NX17, thank you so much. Happy Friday the 13th to me, says Chai Possum. Cave Toad, 1998, 8th grade. Oh, Frank, thanks for making me feel elderly. Yeah. No, about 99, like September of 99 was when my freshman year in high school started. So most of I think. Yeah, that's how that worked out. We need 3-hour show or 5 with John, says Cave Toad. Oh, hey, we're already at 9:17. Cave Toad says Randall Carlson just had a great show. Is he coming up as a guest?
He was supposed to.
He was supposed to. It was like ready and locked. Really was. Neo, thank you so much. NX17, good show, gentlemen. Thanks to Cave Toad for all the gift subs. Blessings to all. Yes, a lot of people are subscribers right now because of Cave Toad. So thank you, Ginger and Porpoiseful and Bad Andy and everybody else. I'm going to be releasing the scratching right now because it's time for us to go. And as we said before, the show is about to continue in after-hour form thanks to John Carroll over here. So get to quitefrankly.tv, and you don't have to do anything. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Cat of Clarity says, great show. Thanks, Frank. This is all on Rumble. Jay Semo says, I have to watch the show tomorrow, but here's a little tip. P.S. I loved Lyndhurst video. That's right. I hope you all enjoyed that. Me streaming from Lyndhurst Estate last night with my father giving us a little bit of a tour of all of the work that he did in there. Eric47 says, watched your New Year's stream last year, but my wife's repeated drooling has relegated me to being only a podcast listener. Here's some catch-up money for my free listening since. God bless. Well, Eric, I hope that the audio is good enough for you. That's ridiculous. Hey, you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for Christmas Eve.
I thought you were going to say Kwanzaa.
Oh, yeah, no, Kwanzaa is going to be lit this year. But I can't wait for Christmas Eve. I'll probably be going live around 11:45 p.m. Eastern time again and just take calls quick. Wish me happy Christmas and go.
Are you going to be here?
No.
24th?
Last year I just did it.
You did 23rd, didn't you?
Oh, the 23rd I'll be live with my parents and whoever else shows up. But the 24th, usually around 11:40. Last year, around 11:45, while Lauren was wrapping some more presents in the living room, I went live from Studio B.
Oh, yeah, you totally should.
It was so awesome.
Well, when's going to be the call-in show? The one where it's just...
Oh, the telethon?
The Nutcracker telethon.
Oh, well, I haven't organized anything like that for this year because I wanted to, I don't know. I have a lot that I can replay, but I'd love to just doing a whole fucking thing of people calling in.
That'd be fine. I mean, Studio B is a real nice tool to have.
It is, and especially when it starts getting really nasty with the weather, if we actually have any. Now that we're starting to come to a settled point in this room and the green room, I have to do some more redecorating and stuff in the live music performance room. Yeah. But once this place is really, I'm going to start concentrating on Studio B.
I'm looking forward to Christmas Eve too. We've gotten snow like 4 times in Ohio already. So we're probably, I mean, we will have a white Christmas if it just stays below freezing. But
so if you were to go back home right now, there's snow on your front lawn.
Yeah.
Wow. What's that like?
Cold, but it's magical. I don't know. It's snow. It's great.
Do you have any Christmas lights underneath the snow so that it glows?
Sort of. When the snow gets, there's lights around the little like hedges or whatever. So,
well,
no, you know, my favorite part about Christmas, what's great is that the world actually seems to stop turning for a minute, and it's just so still and so quiet.
Dude, you know, there's so many reasons why. I mean, I have a couple of, I want to do Christmas songs, and I actually want to write a piece. I have an idea to write a piece about, called the case of for the little drummer boy. But aside from that, obviously, you know my affection for Oh Holy Night.
Yes.
And
you got to play that soon.
Absolutely. Everything. Not only that, but the Jussi Björling thing. There's Pavarotti, but Pavarotti looked up to Jussi Björling. And when you read even the translation for O Helga Natt, it is, I just love the original poem. There's just so much there. There's so much amazing shit there. But the part about O Holy Night I love, the stars are brightly shining, of course. It's the night our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. Now, and then that in itself is just like, that's fucking gorgeous.
It gives me chills every time I hear it.
Gorgeous. And then the next line, a thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices. And for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. That right there, the whole, that brings up in me the feeling of just a satiating breath at the first sign of dawn, where the sun comes up. And I hate to say this, but it's just the way I relate this. And who cares? We're doing overtime. You drove a long way, so let's just keep going. You know, when somebody dies in your life, especially if it was a death that was really, really emotionally, spiritually exhausting, and you're hurting and you're grieving, but it's like, it's almost like, especially when it's somebody that you can get, like when a great grandparent goes or something, where it really hurts, but at the same time, you know, it's a natural thing. It's you know that it's going to be all right. And when the funeral is done, it's almost like there's a breath. There's some funerals that really, really hurt, that after it was just all done, I felt like there was a satiating breath. There was a peace, especially like the first sunny day. The first sunny day after a loss. I don't know why it feels like I get that same sense of peace there, because when you think about, long lay the world in sin and error pining, it's a state of death.
Yeah.
It's like the death by 1,000 cuts. These little errors along the way, and these, we're just getting weighed down, and all of a sudden, it's just a new dawn breaks, and you almost feel like you get a second chance at everything. And that right there, I feel a breath of fresh air come into me through a different set of lungs whenever I hear that sung and sung well. It's like it's not your actual lungs, it's your spiritual lungs. I don't know how to even say it.
No, it's true. There aren't many, I don't know, maybe everyone has their song. It's just, that one is just, it's a way to invoke that very specific feeling, and that's talking about, Christmas. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's I look forward to it every year. Because there were more moments than when that happens with just Christmas, and I don't know, the election. You know, it's not that I had any. I don't know. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with all of that, but just the fact that what we wanted to happen happened, and that all of our worst fears just suddenly evaporated. You know, everyone's thinking about, well, where am I gonna bug out? What am I gonna do? And just the general, just that weight that you didn't even realize how heavy it was until it was lifted off of your shoulders. And it's just, fine. Just get a moment to breathe and be thankful. And, you know, for whatever is going to go on, at least I feel like we have much more of a shot at success, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just being able to push off from the wall that you were backed into.
Yeah.
And just realize, okay, I've got some room. I got some room here. And things aren't as bleak, but you're still in a fight. You know,
100%.
You know, so it's one of those things. You take it along the way, and that's just the warrior's folly, of course. And I appreciate these little digest sessions. Thank you guys and gals so much. Thanks again, John, and we will talk soon. We will talk on Monday. That's right. It's the 16th of December. We're really coming down the home stretch. Next week, I hope we can get just really, really relaxed and Christmassy and lighthearted. We'll see what the world serves us. But in the meantime, we will endeavor to do just that. Have a great evening. Take care.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Will you shut up? No.